Hey there folks, so in this video tutorial series we're going to start having a look at the actual PCG system inside of Unreal Engine 5. So from 5.2 onwards, this project I'm working in here is a 5.4 project, and what we're going to do is we're going to work step by step through a whole bunch of different nodes. Each video is going to look at one or two nodes that we can use in order to create something. Now obviously lots of tutorials start with these basic kind of forest setups. We're going to look at how to create some things like this, but then we're going to also extend it out. We're going to look at how we can link PCG with blueprints, have it running in real time, and then look at how we can also use it for things like tools. So there's quite a lot of things for us to look at, but we'll start by just seeing how can we set up the actual plugin and enable it in Engine. So to get PCG working, what we've got to do is we've got to enable the PCG plugin. So we go to Edit, Plugins, and if I type up here PCG, you'll see a whole bunch of different options that are available for us. Now, we'll look at PCG Biomes and Core in future video series that we might do, but the main one we want really right now is this Procedural Content Generation framework. It's currently in beta as of 5.4. And what you see is that there's maybe a couple of changes that have happened since the first release in 5.2 going to 5.4. Just know that obviously these videos right now I'm doing in 5.4, but if I do upgrade to 5.5 and onwards, I will let you know in that video what version we're working in. We've also got a whole bunch of other ones here. I've turned them on for us for future videos, but these basically extend out the PCG capabilities. So things like geometry scripting is going to be very useful for us to actually have PCG appearing on meshes or using the mesh data. And we've also got things like the water. So if you enable the water system, you'll be able to use things like the rivers, the lakes and oceans and things like that as actual things that we can find inside of our PCG. If you're looking at that and thinking that's something I'd like to do, you will also need to turn on the actual water system, so this water plugin here, and that will give you the options to do your lakes and your rivers and such. And we will cover that in future videos. We will look at how to actually get the plants and things like that growing around the rivers, growing inside of the lakes. Okay, so when that's plugged in, what you're going to need is probably to refresh your engine, and once that's done, it'll take us back to the engine and the content browser. Okay, so I'm here in the content browser. The plugin has now been enabled, and if I go into my content browser and have a little bit of a look in here, if I right click, what you should be able to see if everything has worked correctly is you have a PCG option inside of your right click menu. So you can see here I can add in a PCG graph and a PCG graph instance. We'll look at both of these as we go through our video series, but we're going to start by just creating a PCG graph. Now this is the thing that we're going to basically add into our world that's going to enable us to have our PCG area. So I'm just going to call this PCG underscore, and let's go first demo. And the purpose of this one is just to show you that it is working. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and we're just going to go through the interface and what's here for us. Now, this middle area here, this is going to be our kind of our viewport, the event graph as such that you might have in blueprints. This is where we're going to be connecting all these things. There is an input and an output node, but honestly you're not going to use them a tremendous amount unless you start having PCG graphs inside of other PCG graphs, because that's where we can feed in data from externally and bring in or take out data that other graphs can then use. For the most part, we're just going to work in this PCG graph area here and make our systems by connecting up nodes. Now those nodes, they exist over here. We've got this palette area, very similar to what you get in like material editors. And you can see all of our nodes are here in a list that's obviously searchable. We can also right click and you'll see them all in here as well. If we add in a node, so I'll just add in a node just for a moment, I'll add in a surface sampler. If we select that, you can see that the details panel over on the right, even though it doesn't have the tab saying details, the details panel over on the right is going to show you all the properties, all the variables that you can change for this specific node that you have selected. So you can see if I was to add in another node, let's just add in a transform points, you can see that the options here are obviously contextualized based on the thing that you have selected. Now the bottom area, this is our inspector, and this is where we're going to be able to create the nodes, the points in the create the points in the world, create the points in our scene, and when they're created, we'll be able to actually debug them and view them in here. So we'll be able to see all the data of those individual points, and that goes quite far, quite intense in terms of debugging, but also working out how the system is working and how we can get that data and use it. Okay, so to get this started, let's first of all then create our very first PCG demo system in the world. Okay, so to get started, what we're going to need to look for first is something called a sampler. You can see there's a whole bunch of different sampler options that we've got here, and these are basically going to determine how we're getting the data from, inputs, things like the meshes that we can use. We can create points that exist on different static meshes in our world. We can use it on a spline, so maybe you want to use like fences and panels, or maybe you want to use the spline as like a exterior, like a region that you want to create points within. We've got volume samplers, so we can have like a three-dimensional space that we can spawn the points within. And the most common one that you see used quite a lot is the surface sampler. I have the surface sampler in, and you can see it's looking for a surface for us to actually spawn this onto. And the thing that I'm going to need for that is I'm going to need to get landscape data. I take that landscape data and I plug the output of that into the surface. So I'm basically saying, get the surface of this landscape, and we're going to spawn points on there. How are we going to spawn the points? Well, if we look in the details options here, we can say these are how big the points are going to be. This is how uniform and close they're all going to be to each other, like how much they align to the grid. And this one's going to be, the spacing of those. So how many of them do we have? Now, obviously, if I take this and go and have a look at this in the world, I've got to think, well, first of all, I need to add that PCG first demo into the world. I add it in. Well, nothing's going to happen. And nothing's going to happen because it's saying, let's get the landscape data. I don't have a landscape. So I'm just going to pop really quickly into the landscape mode. And I'm just going to create a blank landscape. Don't really mind how it works. I'm not going to add any hills or anything like that. So now this should be able to find that landscape and spawn points on it. It is doing that, but obviously I'm not telling those points to do anything yet. I'm not spawning any meshes or any actors or anything from this. So what I need to do now is I need to actually come here and I need to start saying, well, at what point do I want to visualize and look at this? I could add a node to start spawning things, but you probably don't want to go all the way to the end of your functionality and then start spawning things and looking at the final outcome of it. You might want to test things along the way. So if you right click, you'll see that there is an option in here. We can obviously enable and turn on and off these, but debug is going to be one of your most useful tools inside of here, because we can actually say, I want to take this, press D, and then I can debug and see those points appearing on the actual graph in the map. So here you can see I'm debugging at my surface sampler. If I have more nodes along the way, I can debug each one of them. I can also, if you right click, you can see you can debug only selected or disable debug on all nodes, which is very useful if you keep on jumping around a very complex graph. Turn them on and off. So let's just have a look at what we've got here, and then we can obviously extend this in further videos. So this is creating some points for us. These points here are going to be the data that we're going to use for potentially spawning static meshes or finding other points around it. So maybe these are going to represent trees, maybe they're going to represent rocks or grass. They might represent, if we actually use them based on other meshes and their position, they could be things like stalagmites and stalactites that appear on walls. They could be floor pieces in like a PCG system for dungeons and buildings. This is going to be the basics of everything that we're going to work on. We're going to be creating these points. And the other element that's really important that we need to understand from the start of this is this white through to black grading that we have on these, and that's called density. So we've got points, which are these, obviously these cubes, these points that we have in the world, and the density being their color. Now what that's doing here is it's just, if we have a look at this PCG graph and look at the surface sampler, you can see if I expand all of these, you see we've got points, apply density to points. If I don't tick that, they'll all just be white. So they all just count as density 1. But if we have that density on, we can start using this as a kind of filter. We can use it to say, with other nodes in the future, maybe I want to get rid of all of them that are like mid-grey through to black, and that leaves me with only the white and the light grey ones. Or maybe I want to get rid of all of them except for like the really, really bright white. So we can use that to say I want to have only a couple of these flowers in the middle of the grass, but the rest of it is, the majority of these points based on density might be grass, might be rocks and things like that. So it's going to be really useful for us, and we're going to use this as a visualization tool as well to be able to obviously see how effects are happening, things like the normals of the surfaces, the height of the world. All of these can be mapped into our density and used as a filter. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for this video, and in future videos now what we're going to start doing is looking at how to spawn things based on these. We'll go into the surface sampler in a bit more detail and also have a look at all the other types of samplers. We'll look at how to edit points, change their actual rotation, location, scales and things, and how to spawn different things, not just static meshes but actors, blueprints. There's a whole load that we can do with this, so there's loads for us to explore. But just get this plugin set up, get it in, get your first PCG graph set up, get some points showing up on the map, and once you've done that, we're ready to explore further. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.